And we're live. Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to day two, part two, Transformation Tuesday. Just happens to be when you watch, if you watch this on the recording, whenever that is, this is just simply part two of the foundations. This is the first series of what we're doing, the foundations of business growth. Yesterday, we talked about setting visions and goals. That was kind of a big deal. And so I wanted to be able to share this with you guys. And this one today, we're going to be talking about understanding your market. So if you don't have these, if you don't have access to these recordings, shoot me an email, DM me. You can always go to the funlifecoaching.com to book your call, or simply go in there to get to my email list, or you can always go to johnnywan.com. I don't advertise that a whole lot, but that's, you can find all my contact information. This episode gets uploaded directly to Spotify as well as Substack. So you can find it there. And there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of ways that we can come in contact with one another. So definitely appreciate you guys coming on today's episode. And just for those of you that are joining us, we are continually growing the Cool Kids Club, right? This is the Cool Kids Club. Now we are working on an inner circle. So be ready for that. Be on the lookout for that. We're working on some programs. We're working on some curriculums. We're actually doing some outside the box things. I had a phenomenal, incredible coaching session yesterday with one of my clients that we're coaching, and I want to say transformational, right? That's what we do. That's why we do what we do, right? It's all powered by the Zig Ziglar Legacy Certification Program, the whole Fun Life coaching community. That's why we do what we do. This is how we do it. And we always start with the foundational program of Choose to Win, written by the proud son of legendary speaker, trainer, motivator, Zig Ziglar. His name is Tom Ziglar, my coach, and the person that we meet every single Monday morning to make sure that my week, that what we're doing is impactful for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, because we try to keep these to about 15 minutes. And so today we take a deeper dive into looking at your market, regardless of where you're at, to truly transform and understand the people that you guys are trying to serve, the people that you guys are trying to reach, right? But you also have to not only know that, get this, you ready? You also have to know your competitors. What are they doing? What are they up to? And so we're going to take this right out of Luke 14:28 and 30. It says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, do you not sit down and first count the cost?" I mean, whether you have enough to finish it, right? That sounds a lot like Stephen Covey's begin with the end in mind. And so that's, again, what we're going to be talking about. And so that scripture emphasizes the importance of planning, understanding the context in which you operate before you take action. Now, don't overanalyze, right? I get in trouble because I say the first four letters of the word analyze with emphasis. So you got to be careful with that. Don't overanalyze, right? You get paralysis by analysis. The main goal is to take action. Take action no matter what. One guy said, take massive action. I heard my buddy Dusty call it massive defined action. That is so key in doing what we are doing. And so, guys, I'm so happy to be with you guys on here today. For those of you joining us live, I appreciate you, love you. Comment, share. What is that thing called? Oh, if you're watching us on certain channels, subscribe. We're still running that contest on seeing which ones get more likes, which platform gets more shares, which platform gets more engagement. That is so neat to see kind of how all this works. And then we shoot this out on the recording. It gets uploaded to different sites and gets repurposed. It gets turned into reels. There's so much that happens out of this, and I'm really excited to do this for you guys, because there's a bigger reason of why we do what we do, right? Mr. Ziglar's overarching theme was you. Yes, you watching this live or on the replay, you can have everything in life you want if you're just willing to help enough other people get what they want. So let me go ahead and tell you, it's not about you guys. It's about the other person. And so let's look at that strategic analysis, right? Because first we start with the mindset, right? This is kind of the why we do what we do, right? The what doesn't matter. I was talking to my coaching client yesterday, and too many times we often try to focus on the how before the why. The what doesn't matter. I'm not interested in your what. I'm focused on the why. And so here's why. Here's why. definition and importance. Understanding your market involves analyzing both the external environment, right? Competitors, market trends, etc., whatnot, and the internal environment, right? The customer's needs and their behavior. So, what is it for you guys? What is it that you have to start to look at a little bit differently that you haven't been doing before? I'm going back and reading the one thing by Gary Keller. And so he said that what is the one thing that you can do this week that such by doing so makes everything else easier or unnecessary? And so what is that for you? Write it down. Not if you're driving. If you're driving, go back and listen to this later. But write it down, right? Make a mental note. What is it that you need to start doing differently when it comes to understanding your market, looking at your competitors, and also understanding the needs of the people that you serve, the customer needs and their behaviors? But when you start to look at the biblical insight that we were just talking about, reflecting on the wisdom of assessing the landscape described in Luke, applying it through the market research that that informs better business decisions. I'm guilty, guys. I got to tell you, I am guilty of not always making the best business decisions. I know you don't believe me, but I did, right? So here's the motivation. Let's start to look at the competitive analysis. Let's kind of unpack that part of it, because really the key is to stay ahead of the competition, to get ahead of the curve. And so how do you do that, Johnny One? I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. A little offended that you asked me so early in the conversation, but I cannot deny your timeliness. Thank you so much. So emphasize the necessity of knowing what your competitors are doing well and where they're lacking, right? Allowing you to find your niche and capitalize on market gaps. That word niche, right? East Texas, where we're from, a lot of people call it niche. But I think it's a European thing, niche. But that's what the Fun Life stands for. Fun Life is actually a full acrostic because of how I learn and how I process. Finding your niche, whatever you want to call it, right? What is it for you, right? One guy said that your gift, and again, I'll bring this back up for those of you that are watching. That gift right there at the bottom of the screen that you can see, that's your gift right there in the bottom corner, right? It ties to perfectly with your desire, your dreams, your why, your gifts, your talents, all of that. What is that? It wasn't given to anybody else. It was given to you. And I just posted the other day, if the vision were impossible, you would not have received it. Guys, there is something inside of you that is waiting, begging, almost trying to beat down the door of your heart saying, let me out. That's your gift, guys. Don't suppress it. Don't lean into it. Lean into it, guys. That's what's going to help you find your niche and capitalize on those market gaps, right? Find something that someone's not doing and bring it out, right? Mr. Ziegler talked about that in boxing when he was a boxer. We have to kind of find out their weakness and capitalize on it. We and coaches try to find your weakness and try to strengthen it. And so let's look at the adaptive and innovative part of this thing, right? Of the what, right? This is the motivation. So I want you guys to discuss with other agents or with yourself the business. You know, some of you business owners, this applies directly to you too. How continuous learning about the market can lead to innovations and adapting, helping your business stay relevant and, more importantly, responsive. So, right, the whole philosophy of two heads are better than one. I like to say that if you get a lot of people together, right, you get a good idea, right? Synergy starts to play a role in it, right? Synergy, that's the sixth habit between the 7 habits of highly effective people. And all of a sudden, what happens when you get that synergy, a God idea emerges. And there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. A God idea is unstoppable. That's going to really what's going to boom, propel you to the next level. And so let's break down the methodology, because this is the one that everybody wants to get to. But I'm going to go ahead and warn you right now, if you don't get the why, if you don't have the why clearly defined, the what isn't going to matter that we just talked about, and you're not going to be able to do the how. So there's a process to this thing, right? And understanding the process is the same as being able to know a recipe, when to do it, sprinkle a little bit of this, a little bit of that, if you leave the egg out of the batter, it doesn't quite come out the same way, right? Leave it too long in the oven and take it out too early, and it doesn't quite come out the same. There's a process, right? There's a system. And I've shared that with you guys before, the acrostic for the system. So I'm not going to go over it here, but reach out to me if you want some of this stuff. Again, you guys are able to get a lot of my resources by simply going to thefunlifecoaching.com. You can reach me directly, 903-570-0052. Email me, Johnny Juan Ortiz @gmail. We're going to be able to get those resources out to you guys. So breaking down the methodology, okay? This is where it gets really fun. The data collection methods. Anybody got one? Some people call it a CRM. Introductions to various methods of gathering information, such as surveys, interviews, focus groups, CRMs, online tools, Google Analytics. I mean, there's information everywhere. What do you know? How do you know what to pay attention to? It's whatever works for you. Really, it's whatever works for you. That's what I'm finding out with all these diets. You guys know I'm on this physical journey to drop some weight, and not so much about dropping the weight, but more so much about getting healthy. And what I'm finding out that everything works if you work. Some are better than others, right? I'm not down with some of these crazy diet ideas, but some of these are pretty crazy. But the ones that I'm doing are working. It's working slower than the other ones, but it's staying off. And I'd much rather be doing that one than the one that's going to just yo-yo and come back when I least expect it. So, but when you start to look at things like analyzing market trends, guys, you have to be aware. You have to be caught up on what it is that your market is doing, because you just can't get caught off guard. And so there's some tools out there, right? There's a thing called SWOT, SWOT, where you start to analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And so break those down, separately to see how, what is it that you can improve? What is it that you need to keep doing? What is it that you need to start doing? What is it that you need to stop doing? Right? There's some things that you probably should stop doing that are not serving you anymore. So stop, please. Right? I like what Jim Rohn says. If you've been doing something wrong for a year, he suggests that's long enough. Stop right there. Right? One other person said that when you're digging a hole, please stop digging. Please, someone take the shovel away from him. Please, anybody. All right, wrapping this thing up. We're going to try to land this plane here pretty quick. So my call to action for you guys, all right, if you were to do anything, right, because we were talking about the mindset, the strategy, and here's the action, the massive action that you're going to have to take, or like we talked about, or that defined action. Well, you have specificity. Easy, not easy to say, right? Specifically, what is it that you are specifically needing to do that by doing so makes everything easier or not necessary? And so I call you the cool kids. I want you to, basically conduct a competitor analysis and simply identify at least 3 main competitors in your field and research what is it that they do well. What is it that makes them grow? Look at the big ones. Look at some small retail stores have basically modeled themselves after Walmart and are successful doing so. So look at your top 3 competitors and find out what is it that they're doing. And then also look at where is it that they fall short. And that's going to help you. Seriously, start by creating that customer persona, right? Some people call it an avatar. Other people call it the ideal client, based on your existing clients. And what you're going to find out is that your existing client database is going to help you identify future clients. And so as we bring this merry-go-round to a slow spin so that everybody can get off nice and safely, I think that's what's happening in today's society. Too many kids didn't have the experience of that merry-go-round, trying to get off too early or trying to get on too late when it's already got. You know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all guys are laughing. I want you to simply understand that the market is not a one-time task. Understanding the market is an ongoing, it's a continuous effort that requires vigilance, adaptability, and it's going to be an ever-evolving part of your business. It's a growth strategy. And inspired by the biblical principle that we were talking about earlier, wise planning and preparation, right? Be open to learning and adapting, underscoring that such agility can lead to sustained success and fulfillment of your mission in your marketplace. Mr. Ziegler, in his book, my favorite book, it's this born to win. And he says that you go ahead and scan that. Can y'all see that? Scan that. He says you were born to win. In order to be the winner you were born to be, you have to first plan to win, prepare to win, and then and only then can you expect to win. I'll leave that up there so you guys can scan it a little bit. Go to zigziglar.com/born to win or books. Great book for you guys to get in there. But again, be open to learning, be open to learn. We don't know it all. We don't. Some people think they do, right? It's those people that have conceit that makes everybody sick, except the person that has it. I love that. I love that thing Mr. Ziegler talked about. So, guys, we're right at our 15-minute mark again. If this is something that is going to help you grow your business, it's a little. We're kind of getting down into the nuts and bolts of business, and so the reason we want to be able to do this is because I want your business to get to the next level. It's not all fun and games, but if you do the work, if you do the hard work now, it gets easier. I often liken it back to when I started streaming and when I started kind of getting on social media lives. It was almost impossible. Now I can come in here, get in, fire up, click here, almost like getting on playment check, flip this switch, flip that switch, up and going. And then you're going to be able to do that. I'll bring this back on the screen here real fast because a lot of times you find yourself in survival mode, right? The bottom left of the screen. Our goal is to get you to the stability mode. Once you get you to the stability, we get you to the success. Once you get to success, you get to significance. And told somebody, John Maxwell was talking to one of our coaches, Howard Partridge, and he said that once you get a taste of success, once you get a taste of significance, success just won't do. And then there's one level up above that, and that's legacy. That's what we're doing. That's why we do what we do, guys. We're going to help you leave a legacy like none other, guys. Hey, this has been your playground guy, Johnny Juan Ortiz, with the Fun Life Coaching Community here. We're here live at the Cardinal Financial Studios, located 1512 East Southeast Loop 323, right here in the booming metropolis of East Texas. So glad to have you guys on here with us. Thank you, guys. Love you. Appreciate you. Share this with your friends, with your family. Like and subscribe. Go ahead. Sign up for the email list. That way, if you miss any one of these recordings or lives, you get it strictly, directly downloaded to your email. Adios.